Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that someone on the other side of the world knows all your secrets. Your ID number, where you live, how much you earn, your most intimate conversations. Now imagine this happening to 147 million people at the same time. Welcome to the darkest side of the internet, where invisible hackers can take down nuclear power plants with a USB drive, paralyze entire hospitals with a few lines of code, and even decide who will be the next president of the United States without leaving their homes. You're about to discover the 5 most devastating cyber attacks in human history, and I guarantee, after this video, you'll never look at your computers the same way again, because the truth about our digital security is far more terrifying than you can imagine. If you want to find out how a simple USB drive almost triggered a world war, subscribe to the channel now. A top-secret facility in the Iranian desert, hundreds of scientists worked day and night to enrich uranium, a crucial step for nuclear bombs. But something impossible started happening. The world's most precise machines, centrifuges spinning at 90,000 RPM, began to self-destruct. One by one, they mysteriously exploded. Technicians stared at the monitors. Everything seemed normal. But in reality, total chaos. What they didn't know was that they were being attacked by the first cyber weapon in history, Stuxnet. A malware so sophisticated it exploited 4 zero-day vulnerabilities simultaneously. To grasp the magnitude, each zero-day vulnerability is worth $500,000 on the black market. We're talking about a $2 million weapon. But here's what will give you chills. While destroying the centrifuges, Stuxnet sent false data to the computers, making it seem like everything was functioning perfectly. The Iranians were being sabotaged for 8 months, and they had no idea. It was like being slowly poisoned, while every medical test showed perfect health. Who created this apocalyptic digital weapon? The United States and Israel. Operation Olympic Games. If you think this sounds like science fiction, wait until you learn they tested Stuxnet on exact replicas of the Iranian centrifuges, secretly built in the Nevada desert. Did you know this attack delayed Iran's nuclear program by years? Give this video a like if you want to hear more explosive details. May 2017. Friday morning. Sarah, a nurse in London, arrives for her shift and tries to access the hospital system. But instead of patient data, a red skull screen appears. Your files have been hijacked. In 72 hours, WannaCry infected 300,000 computers in 150 countries. Hospitals canceled emergency surgeries. Trains stopped. Entire factories shut down. Here's what haunts me the most. WannaCry used a cyber weapon created by the US NSA, Eternal Blue, a spying tool that leaked and fell into the hands of criminals. It was as if terrorists stole American missiles and attacked US soil. And guess who saved the world? Marcus Hutchins, 22 years old, working from his parents' bedroom. He found a bizarre URL in the code. IUQERFSODP9 IFJAPOSDFJHGOSURIJFAEWRWERGWEA.com. He registered the domain for $10 and accidentally triggered a kill switch that stopped the virus globally. $10 saved digital civilization, but the story gets darker. WannaCry was created by North Korea, the Lazarus Group. Kim Jong-un literally attacked hospitals worldwide to collect Bitcoin, and guess how much they made from all this chaos? Just $140,000, billions in damages for $140,000. Equifax, a company you've probably never heard of but had data on virtually every adult American. Social security numbers, addresses, credit histories. Chinese hackers breached it and stole the information of 147 million people. Not passwords that can be changed. Social security numbers that stay with you for life. Here's the most outrageous part. Equifax knew about the vulnerability for 2 months. They had the fix available. They didn't apply it due to sheer negligence. And when they discovered the breach, they waited 6 weeks to inform the public. 6 weeks during which 147 million Americans were vulnerable, without knowing. But it gets worse. Equifax executives sold millions in stocks before announcing the hack. Coincidence? CEO Richard Smith retired with a $90 million package. Meanwhile, millions of Americans had their identities stolen and credit ruined. Do you believe this was just incompetence? Leave your comment. Do you trust your data with companies like Equifax? Hollywood, 2014. Amy Pascal, the most powerful woman in film, turns on her computer. A red skull on the screen. Guardians of Peace hacked Sony Pictures. But this wasn't an ordinary hack. It was total destruction. Private emails exposed. Celebrity salaries revealed. Racist executive conversations leaked. The reason? A comedy movie. The Interview, about assassinating Kim Jong-un. The North Korean dictator was so enraged he ordered a cyber attack on all of Hollywood. Amy Pascal lost her job over private emails that should have remained secret forever. Hackers threatened 9/11-style terrorist attacks on theaters. And it worked. Sony canceled the film. The first time in history, hackers censored Hollywood. A dictator in the middle of Asia controlled what Americans could watch in theaters. How did the US retaliate? They took down North Korea's entire internet for weeks. 25 million people without connection in response to a comedy movie. And now, the most dangerous case. It wasn't just about money or data. It was about democracy itself. The 2016 US election. Russian hackers didn't just try to spy. They tried to decide who would be the US president. John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, received an email from Google about a suspicious login. He clicked the link, entered his password. Done. Russians had access to thousands of presidential campaign emails. But that was just the start of the most sophisticated psychological warfare operation in history. The Russian operation had 3 devastating fronts: hacking democratic emails, spreading massive disinformation through fake profiles, and attempting to breach election systems in 21 states. Russia's Internet Research Agency employed 400 people working 12 hours a day creating fake content. They studied American slang, time zones, local sports events, to make fake profiles indistinguishable from real Americans. They created Facebook groups with millions of followers. They organized physical protests in American cities, remotely controlled from St. Petersburg. If you think this stopped in 2016, think again. It's happening right now as you watch. 5 attacks, 5 terrifying lessons about our digital fragility. A USB drive can destroy a billion-dollar nuclear program. An email can expose half a continent. A comedy can spark international cyber war. A single click can hand presidential elections to foreign powers. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit. These 5 cases are just the tip of the iceberg. Right now, Chinese hackers are inside American power grids. Russians have access to entire cities' water systems. North Koreans control backdoors in hospitals worldwide. The next war won't be fought with tanks or planes. It will be fought with malicious code that can erase your digital identity, take down your city's power grid, or convince you to vote for candidates controlled by foreign dictators. And you know what's scariest? The attacks I showed today used technology from 2010 to 2017. Imagine what hackers can do today, with artificial intelligence, deepfakes, and quantum computing. The era of cyber war isn't beginning. It's already in full swing. And you are primary targets, whether you like it or not. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. In the coming weeks, I'll dive deep into each attack. I'll show real code, leaked classified documents, the faces of the hackers, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself from what's coming. Because in today's digital world, knowledge isn't power, it's survival. And the cyber war of the future will make these 5 attacks look like child's play. Until the next investigation. And remember, on the internet, you are never truly safe.